Tom and Thomas is a really interesting, unpredictable film. It's also called The Christmas Twins. It's not really a Christmassy film, so I definitely prefer the title Tom and Thomas. And Tom and Thomas are understandably twins, and interestingly, they're both played by Aaron Taylor Johnson. And I have to say, his performance is amazing. The film was released in 2002. It's written and directed by Esmé Lammers, and it also stars Sean Bean as Paul Sheppard. And it's about two young boys, one of whom lives with his father, and one lives in a boys' home. And the boy in the boys' home escapes, and by pure chance encounter, Tom and Thomas meet. And obviously, Tom doesn't want to go back to the home, so Thomas brings him back to his house. And part of the film is about them swapping places. One of them stays at home while the other one goes to school, and vice versa. And they have a great time bonding. And they always knew about each other, particularly Thomas. Thomas always felt like there was another child out there somewhere, and he's obviously elated by this discovery, and things seem to be going really well, and then things get really dangerous and the twins are separated. And I will be honest, after that point it wasn't as interesting for me. Part of the enjoyment was watching the interaction between the two boys. I thought it worked really well. It's very, very well done. And also watching Tom interact with Thomas's father, if that makes sense, because obviously he's completely unaware that this is a different child. And I found those scenes to be really good. Once they got separated and something quite intense and potentially dangerous happens, I don't want to give too much away. I feel like it wasn't as interesting for me. It stopped being my kind of film. But the performances were still great. The narrative was still interesting and unpredictable. So ultimately, I enjoyed it. But for me, the first half of the film was far more interesting. But it's very well done. You do need to suspend disbelief, absolutely. Well, having said that, maybe not. I think some people might believe that actually, if you have two twins who are separated, then one might actually feel the pull of the other, and they might meet at the same in the same place by what some would consider a coincidence. So it depends on what your beliefs are there, I guess. But it's certainly not the most likely narrative, put it that way. But that aside, I found it to be very enjoyable. The performances were great. Tom and Thomas are very likable characters, and I didn't know what to expect from this, but I kind of enjoyed the unpredictability with it. And if it sounds like your kind of film, I do recommend it. I probably wouldn't watch it again. I might watch bits of it. There are certain performances that I enjoyed, but the narrative as a whole, I kind of really liked 50% of it and didn't mind the rest of it, which is fair enough for a film. So definitely recommend it if it sounds like your kind of thing. Don't know if it's going to be for everybody, but I enjoyed it well enough.